So as I said, second stage was reabsorption. So by reabsorption, needed substances will pass back to the blood. Like this one, I took one table. In this table, you will also see by reabsorption which substances are passing. So let's look to this example. I think you see now. So in this process, you can see the difference between urine and glomerular filtrate. So between urine and glomerular filtrate. Guys, as you see, and in the first part, you can see blood plasma. In blood plasma, we have nearly, let's say that 90%, 90% is 90 milligram, let's say, water. As you see, glomerular filtrate is the same. Guys, glomerular filtrate produced by ultrafiltration. So as you see, actually it's the same amount of water. But in urine, water will be more. Let's say that it is nearly 94% of urine. Glucose. As you see, there's no difference between plasma and glomerular filtrate. But in healthy urine, there's no glucose, which means that all glucose is reabsorbed. All glucose is reabsorbed. It means that glucose passes back to the blood. Amino acids, look guys, all of them are coming back against the blood. So all amino acids are reabsorbed. So there's zero. Plasma proteins, even, look, we can't find in filtrate and also in urine because protein is large molecule, so it can't enter to the structure of the kidney tubule. Urea, as you see, it's very concentrated, and inorganic ions are also becoming concentrated. So let's say that if substance is needed for the body, such as glucose, then amino acid, or maybe or vitamin, they are reabsorbed. Vitamin, most amount part of water and minerals reabsorbed. Guys, do not mix this reabsorption with normal absorption, okay? You know that absorption belongs to the digestive system. Small molecules pass from intestine, from small intestine, and some of them from the large intestine into the blood. This was absorption. But this process is reabsorption. Guys, reabsorption mostly is active process. It needs energy. I think we learned from our previous lessons. There was a chapter, as you remember, we talked which processes relate with active movement, active transport, or passive transport. And we had this example. So glucose reabsorbed by the kidney by active transport. From low to high by the using of energy and membrane proteins. So these substances. So because of reabsorption, look guys, as a filtrate, we have 180 liter. But finally, we will have 1.5 liter of urine. It means that nearly 178.5 liter goes back to the blood. Let's say that only nearly 10% of filtrate, this is filtrate, becomes urine, guys. Nearly 10% becomes urine. Another 90% of filtrate reabsorbed back to the blood. So this is known as reabsorption process. These two processes in IGCSE are very important. We don't need actually secretion. But secretion, I will use, I will write one sentence about it. So secretion. Secretion is this one, generally using energy by using energy, pumping unneeded substances such as urea to the kidney tubules. So this is known as secretion, guys. So secretion by using energy, pumping or sending unneeded substances such as urea to the kidney tubule. Because let's say this information, guys. I'm just giving an example. I'm again drawing now blood vessel, and let's say that this is a kidney tubule. So the left one is kidney tubule, right one is blood vessel. And let's say that the blood which is coming to the kidney, firstly, it contains 20 milligrams of urea. So this urea by passive movement enters to the blood vessel. After a period in both environments, the amount of urea is 10 milligrams. You know that in this case, there's no diffusion. There's no movement passively because concentrations are equal. But if I want to send still this 10 milligram out, I will use energy. I will use energy to pump this urea to send it out. An example, this is known as secretion. This is known as secretion. Let's go to the next part of our topic. So actually in here, in this picture, you can see, especially they are showing two parts. So this one is filtration. All others are reabsorption. So these are reabsorption. They are not showing secretion. And mostly they are not talking. We learn it in A-level books, and also there are some also IGCSE books we are talking about, giving information. So filtration, I explained. Reabsorption also. As you say, they are saying that, guys, do you know 1 cubic decimeter equals to which size? So what's 1 cubic decimeter?
May I?
Yes, of course, Maksud.
If I'm not mistaken, it's liter.
Of course. Guys, don't forget. So in here, they are saying that 170 cubic decimeter, it is actually 170 liter. And in a day, we will have, on average, 1.5 liter. Of course, there are many factors which are affecting. If I'm drinking a lot of water, I will have more urine. Or if I'm in the cold area in winter, we will have more urine. If I'm playing a football, I'm sweating, we will have less urine. You know, these factors are affecting. Now let's talk about the bladder. I will give you information about bladder. So again, I took a picture. I will explain on the picture about the bladder, how bladder is working. So let's look to this picture, guys. So our bladder connects with two ureters. Let's say that this is one ureter, this is the second ureter. So actually, two ureters, they are joining to the pelvis region of kidney, and they take urine from kidneys to the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder, you know, it's a bag which can store urine for a certain period of time. And we have, let's say, receptors. When urine level reaches to this level, urines reach to this level, so they are sending signal to the brain about urination. And as you see, when urethra is joining to the Urinary bladder, they have in here muscles, what we call as sphincter muscles, guys. Sphincter muscles. Guys, do you remember in which part of our body we also learned these sphincter muscles?
Stomach.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you. Correct. Yes, guys. If you remember, in the stomach, we also had sphincter muscles. Sphincter muscles actually are ringular, round-shaped, ring-shaped muscles, which can control the movement, such as if you will talk about the stomach, they control movement in and movement out, such as they control, you know that because there was acid, hydrochloric acid, which is dangerous. So you need to keep it in the stomach. Stomach because adapted. They have mucus production, mucus barrier. So in here we have sphincter muscles. So sphincter muscles, now in our body, it is closed. This is the reason why urine is not leaving the body. But let's say that when we'll go to the urination, so these sphincter muscles relax. As a result, urine will leave the body through urethra. Okay. So these informations are important for the bladder. Bladder generally, numbers are changing. Example, they are saying that nearly its volume is 0.5 liter. Generally, and you know that there's one interesting information. Adult mammals can consciously control the sphincter muscle. So you know that for us, urination is conscious process. Because conscious means it is voluntary, which means that you can control. But you know that for the child forms, for the children, young mammals, this process is involuntary or unconscious or automatical process. So this is the reason why we are using an example, different types of like pumpers, let's say, because they can't control their urination process. Now we are going to talk about the kidney dialysis. Kidney dialysis. I will give you information how this is working, this mechanism. So guys, firstly, you must know one information that there are some diseases or there are some problems which affect kidney structure or functioning of the kidney. So, you know, there are many people who can live with one kidney, but there are also people who like their both kidneys are not working. So if both kidneys are not working, you need to go to this machine. This is known as kidney dialysis. So this machine, let's say that filters and cleans the blood. Generally, they are going 2-3 times in a week. 2-3 times in a week. And in every time, it takes nearly 4 or 5 hours. So in a week, you are going several times and it takes a time. The reason is, I'm repeating again, guys, if we will not go, so we will have more unneeded substance, such as we will have more urea, we will have more water. Again, blood pressure will increase and it can damage the vessels. So we need to control the components in the blood. So as a result, they are going to this machine, dialysis machine. In Azerbaijan, it's free of charge. So if you have this problem, government example gives you this, let's say that the machines, an example, and not machines, you are going to the different hospitals, and in the hospitals, your blood is, okay, thank you, Mika, for information. So if you will look to this picture, guys, you can see that blood, they are using shunt vessel, look, shunt, which they are connecting their artery with venous blood, with vein, let's say, and blood, this blood is going through the veins to this machine, and this machine, in this machine we have a pump which speeds up the movement, and they are using special fluid, dialysis fluid. In dialysis fluid, they are controlling, an example, which substance they will have in which amount. And when blood is passing by the dialysis, through the dialysis fluid, changes will occur by diffusion mostly. And there's a filter which removes unneeded substances, and this, let's say that filtered blood moves back to the blood system. Let's say that by this way, they eliminate urea, they eliminate some amount of salt and water. This is generally, guys, it's short-term process, like it is a temporary process because you are searching kidney. And you know that not always kidney will match because there can be differences in their antibody antigen structure, so your immunity will not detect it. So till that period for the searching, finding the new kidney, they are using this dialysis machine, kidney dialysis. And last part of our lesson is about kidney transplants. I want to give you certain information about kidney transplant. It's a small information. So firstly, we said, okay, dialysis machine, an example is needed. But you know that, of course, having kidney transplant will be much better. An example, with kidney transplant, you can go to mountain and stay in the mountain, let's say for 2 weeks. But without, let's say that kidney transplant, if you are using dialysis, so you must go near to the, let's say that hospital, you must leave. And so you can't say that I will stay in the mountain for a week. No, it's impossible because we don't have this facility. But having kidney transplant will be better because you will have less limits, let's say. But there is one problem. Problem, of course, is related with the finding needed kidney. Because as we said, the structures, what we call antigens, are different between people. Not always they will match. Especially, you know that in here we are using relatives. Because from the relatives, it will be better, especially close relatives, like let's say that I'm taking from my father or my mother, because our protein structure can be similar. It's not always correct. It's not always correct, but it's helping. And another thing in here, they are using special also drugs, chemicals, what we call as immunosuppressants. Immunosuppressants. So immunosuppressants are drugs which are reducing your immunity. So your immunity, your white blood cells become less sensitive. This can have another problem, such as different bacteria and virus easily will enter and cause another problem. So these people are vulnerable to different diseases. They need to be more careful, let's say. So these are, guys, major informations what we need to learn. Now, if you have a question, yes, you can ask. Yes, I'm listening.
What's kidney tubule?
Kidney tubules are like tubule. It's a smaller tube. So in the kidney, we have smaller tubules, like small tubes, like blood vessel, let's say, like capillary or arterial.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Another question, guys?
May I?
Yeah, of course, Maksud. What's your question?
Mr. Pervez, in the start of the lesson, you provided us with the information that renal artery is connected to kidney, but to what is renal artery is connected to?
Renal artery, its pathway is this one. Look, guys, I will write. Thank you very much for the asking your question. So, thank you, Amiras, also for the information. You are correct, of course. Yes, you are correct. So I will write the pathway, guys. So we have aorta. Aorta divides into different branches, but one of them is abdominal aorta. And from abdominal aorta, there are many branches. One of them, what we need, it is renal artery. Renal artery divides into, let's say, arterioles. One of them was afferent arteriole, yes, like the afferent arterioles later. Then they are making capillary. Guys, this is more detail, okay? Then these capillaries are again joining to the arteriole. Think about the structure of the glomerulus. If you remember, capillaries were between two arterioles. Then these arterioles are divided again into the capillary. Then capillaries are making, let's say that venule or venules. venules are joining to the renal vein. Renal vein will join to the inferior vena cava. So this is the pathway, how they are moving through the kidney. So aorta, of course, it's not coming, it's coming from the heart, abdominal aorta. So kidney begins, let's say, from here, let's see. Renal artery, arterial capillary, venule, renal vein, and finished in here. I will show you the picture. First, check it. Now I will share a book. In the book, we will see it. Like this one, guys, look. So let's say that this is renal artery or branch. This is one arterial, then capillary. This is another arterial. Then again, it changes to the capillary. Then these capillaries are changing to the venule. Venules into the renal vein. Another question. Okay, if you don't have any question, guys, check our Google Classroom. I will send 2 worksheets, okay? Try to solve by themselves, by yourself. There's no problem. I will not check, or there's no need to send your answers to me. Just check the questions, go through them. I will organize extra video, let's say. In the video, I will explain the answers of the questions. Let's say our lesson will be next Monday, as you know. Sunday, probably, I will share the video so you can check your answers. Okay, guys?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Have a nice day. See you. Goodbye.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Goodbye.
See you.